Thursday.
What's up, everybody? Today we're talking Chris Brown standoff with police and Diddy opens a charter school. All that and more on Black Hollywood Lives this week.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live this week.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Well, Jesse, you got the hey.
1, 2, down.
I feel like we are doing like
We're
a
like
real
all doing,
chill
like, what are we doing?
motion of the dance today. But welcome to Black Hollywood Lives this week. You're back to the original three today. No Rachel.
No Rachel.
And we really haven't all been in the room together, kind of.
I know. The summer be breaking us up and stuff.
Summer is
People
breaking
be
us
traveling.
up. And it is now the end of summer, Labor Day weekend. Even though I don't know what that really means because
It's my
we're in
birthday
California.
weekend.
Wait, what are you doing
Yes,
for your
it
birthday?
is.
Look, I
it's
can't
going down.
Am I invited?
All weekends.
All right, cool.
Are you going to show up? Is
I
the
have
real
so many
question.
plans,
Depends. It's on
Yes.
Sunday.
Because Darius is a little too
What's on
fabulous.
Sunday?
I have to go to a friend's thing who's coming in from the Olympics on Sunday. It's like a celebration from being in Brazil. So that's
Fair enough.
that's an excuse.
Okay.
Well, welcome to Black Hollywood Lives this week. We got a lot of interesting topics today.
We do.
A lot of fun stuff in the news this week.
Yeah.
And
Fun stuff.
I'm excited to talk about it with
Are
you
you?
guys. Yes, can't you tell? I'm excited
you
to talk
super
about
pumped?
it. I'm super pumped. Yeah. All right, let's get
Well,
on
you know
to
who wasn't super pumped?
Who's that?
Chris Brown.
He was pumped, all right,
He
but pumped
was-
off to something else. but-
First of all, can I just explain to you? I'm on Facebook. Fox News just, I don't know how, it was like a suggestion. And all of a sudden there's these two. So Fox News has like Facebook hosts, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen them?
I haven't
Yeah,
seen
I
them
have.
specifically for Fox News, but I know they have.
What? Mary Kay and Ashley Olsen? Like, what
They-
was this?
I'll give you
Like,
that,
hey
yeah.
guys,
They're-
reporting live.
Yeah.
We're getting the news from TMZ. I'm
Right.
like,
they're real excited.
Fox
about it, yeah.
News is getting the news from TMZ.
They're trying
Everybody
to,
gets news from
That's so
TMZ.
true.
We talked about that like a year ago, like how TMZ has legit become like the
Legit.
main news source.
Go ahead, Harvey.
Yeah, I saw Harvey actually last weekend. I was in Santa Monica and happened to pull out of a parking lot that he was pulling out of, and I must say the man must have a lot of cash because his Porsche was banging.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
It was banging.
He's been working for a long time.
He has.
What's the People's Court, right?
People's Court.
Yeah, love me on that.
Yeah, yeah.
And he still does it.
Yeah.
Still does it.
So Chris Brown, well, what they were reporting is that Chris Brown was in a standoff with the police because a woman by the name of Bailey Curran, who was this ex-pageant star who now we find out she really didn't win the pageant. She never would give her sash and crown back, which is weird.
What?
Girl, like, it's just like a whole bunch of things were coming on. You know, people nowadays, you can't hide shit from no one. They're going to find
They
all
find out
your
everything.
tea, girl. Especially you threatening everyone's bae,
Right.
Chris Brown. So she reported that Chris Brown held a gun to her head and was basically threatening her. Police for hours were standing outside Chris's house. They arrested him, but when they actually went through the house, they found out they came out to say that the accuser fabricated the story. They could not find a weapon.
Yeah, and
Yes.
she was saying that it wasn't over returned jewelry or something in reference to that.
Well, supposedly initially it was because she was admiring some jewelry in the house and he pulled a gun on her and got all crazy. And then it became, she said something about his friend's jewelry
The
that
friend's
looked
jewelry,
fake.
yeah.
And that's what pissed him off and he kicked her out. Chris Brown maintained that he was asleep through the whole thing. He didn't
Right.
even talk to the girl, so I don't know. But what was shady was that they kept saying on the news, many news sources reported this, that he threw a gun and drugs out the window in a duffel bag.
Yep.
Apparently, according to today's news, none of that is
It's
actually true.
right.
Yeah.
And they also were saying that Rihanna was frantically texting him. That she was super concerned and
Stop it.
all that stuff. So
And the very idea that they
Which
called
maybe-
it a standoff,
I believe that though.
Maybe 8 times.
I think she would text him.
I think so.
Especially if you saw, because there was helicopters circling. It literally looked like he had actually shot somebody,
It did.
and they were trying to figure something out. When
Like the
in
O.J.
reality,
Well, that's the way that they made it appear.
and they
at
made it,
first.
and
Yeah.
they said he's in a standoff, like barricaded in his house.
yeah,
When
exactly.
no, he said y'all can come in, but you need a warrant.
Yeah.
And so he waited until they got a warrant, and his lawyer, which is your legal right as an American that owns property. They can't just roll up in your house just because some broad called and said you held a gun to her head,
Okay.
and she was not harmed. So anyway, it was the biggest waste of tax resources I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Girl, don't watch too much the OJ versus the people, thinking she gonna be out here doing
Well,
that.
she thought she was.
Well, on a positive note, Diddy is going to, this has kind of been 6 years in planning, but
Yeah.
he's going to be opening a new charter school in East Harlem called East Harlem Capital Prep. instead of complaining about education, he decided he wanted to do something about it. So the day-to-day will be run by a Steve Perry. And so this caused a little bit of controversy because Steve is a free-spirited kind of educator.
I like you said,
a free spirit,
educated.
Okay, no, not kind of.
Not
because
kind of educated,
He's
but
just
a
against the government version of school because he just thinks that these public schools, they house teachers because they've been there for long periods of time, knowing that these teachers aren't educating the students or following certain curriculum. And he started 2 schools in Hartford, Connecticut. Both were successful, but they were often criticized because the charter school done turned into a magnet school because everyone wanted to go there. They were so successful. So he's going to be working with Diddy on this. I'm kind of excited to see what this is going to do for New York and Harlem.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they have changed Harlem around so much. I used to live there, and it's just night and day of what the city, what it is, the borough is now. And Diddy's always supported New York City. That's what I love about him. And, I mean, I just feel like he's, even with voting, remember he did the whole voting campaign and got everybody out to do that and during the elections, and except for Paris Hilton, right. But I applaud him for this, I mean, I think it's going to be great for the city, and kids look up to him, you know what I mean? He's like the mayor of Harlem, you know what I mean? Or mayor of New York City, really, not just Harlem. Everybody loves him. So I think that he'll get a great response from this.
Just don't do it like Revolt. All right, on the flip side of that, y'all watched the VMAs?
Of course.
I did, of course, yeah.
What was your favorite part?
Rihanna.
Which one?
What do you mean, which one?
Like, what
She
part of
performed
Rihanna?
like
You
12
like the whole
times.
thing?
Oh, I mean, I just like her, period. So whatever she
he was
does.
just seeing Rihanna.
Just watching her. I mean, I'm a Rihanna fan.
I
so.
love the dance hall version. That was my favorite performance of the night.
Mm-hmm.
What was yours?
It was B,
I mean, she killed
She
it.
got
She
a
killed it.
15-minute concert. Get
She
it.
did. I mean, that's what she does. She did it for the BET Awards too.
Yeah.
I still like the BET performance a little bit more because I think it was a little bit more dark. You know what I mean? It had the water and the red lights, and she came and nobody really knew that she was performing. So
Well, that was cool.
the element of surprise.
The element of
like,
surprise.
helped that, but I mean, she walked the carpet with Blue Ivy, and they just
That was-
owned
they
it.
killed it.
Blue
yeah.
Ivy was the best dressed by far.
Oh, for sure.
But Miss Tiana Taylor, we saw her in Kanye's new Fade video.
Yes,
Yep.
we did.
Looking all types of fine with that body.
Yeah, body's spectacular.
So obviously everyone keeps posting on Twitter like body goals and whatnot.
Yeah.
Tiana in an interview came out to say, I hate to, say it, but like I don't work out. She's like, I eat pizza, I eat fried chicken. She's like, all I do is dance.
She's a dancer.
I just dance.
That's a workout. She's a dancer.
Yeah. So
Muscle memory.
Yeah.
great marketing. She's about to come out with a DVD.
I ain't mad
A
at
workout
you, girl.
DVD.
Matter.
Cause it's gonna
Get
be
your
all kind
phone.
of girls like, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get that body. Yeah. Doing the dance, and it ain't gonna happen.
Smart.
but
She's a
you
part of Good Music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the music's going to be dope to the DVD. Gonna do Kanye's workout plan. That'll be
Get that check.
I think it'll be fun. I hope they really produce it
Yeah.
really well, and it's not cheesy, because they could really do something fun.
Well, she ain't cheesy. So I feel like in Kanye, I think something good. Could
I think it'll be dope.
I'm
I
excited.
think I'll make a lot of money from it.
Boom. Speaking of a lot of money, this football season, you can too. Make sure you guys check out DraftKings.com. Week 1 of football. I don't really know what that means because I don't really be watching football like that.
I'm gonna make you watch football this year because I went to Ohio State, so I
Every
at
Sunday.
least love college football.
Okay, so then we're gonna do this. If I'm gonna watch it, we're gonna play along because I'm trying to win $5 million.
That's
Yes.
right. Listen,
In
me
week
too.
1,
As long as we
you
split
can
it.
win $5 million. All you
Week
guys
1.
got to do is sign up and use the code BSports for your chance to win. What did I say? $5 million. DraftKings.com. Week 1. Check it out.
That's what's up.
Wow.
All right, Courtney.
Yeah.
I want $5 million.
Courtney wants that $5 million.
So if I have to watch football, you gotta watch it with me.
I mean, I watch football every once in a while.
Like
We'll
it
watch it
just has to be
together.
Patriot games.
And it's funny because I've watched
You
it
guys
like
aren't
my
even
whole
from
life.
Boston. Like that's all that I've been
Yeah, I
trained
don't
to
like
do.
Patriot games.
yeah, I mean,
I'm not even like I don't know, whatever. I can't watch professional sports because they emotionally destroy me. Yeah, so.
But so make sure you guys hurry up. DraftKings.com now. You get to choose your own players. So this is like fantasy football.
yeah, and it's really
Have
easy
you
to
played
play.
fantasy football
I
before?
have, yes.
Have you ever won?
I have not. So clearly, I'm not picking the right.
So we won't call
Players,
Derrial to pick our team.
But I have one in a different league. But it's okay.
We should play and put our team together on DraftKings.
Well,
and
because
then we
it
can, like-
seems like it's easier than whatever
Most
one
places, yeah.
Derrial out here talking about. But so you can renew old rivalries by challenging friends and family. So it's like social. Okay, I'm into that. In a private league to prove that you're the superior GM. Okay, I don't know what that means.
General manager.
General manager of what?
Isn't that what GM for? That's the people that put together the teams. Like they pick players in the draft and
I'm gonna win $5 million. DraftKings.com, bsports.com. Check it out.
Bam.
DraftKings.com. Sports is the code that you can use to win $5 million.
the code is bsports. DraftKings.com. Is that right?
Sure is.
We got it.
All
Get
right.
on it. $5
Bam.
million on
$5
the
million.
line. Make it happen, guys.
All right, Courtney.
Wait, so
what-
when does football start?
Oh, you okay? You really want this money because you are like
We trying to
you
make it
listen,
happen
I'm
on
not gonna-
DraftKings,
listen,
okay?
I feel that. When you said football season starts,
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean
week?
I know when
I know
Ohio
the
State
Super Bowl
starts.
is in February,
Is it?
right?
Sometimes it
Or
be
end
in
of
January.
Well,
January.
end of January. Yeah.
Well,
Sometimes it's that first week of
But
February.
college football starts soon.
cool.
Okay. They already running around the field and stuff.
I bet you like that.
I don't mind it. I don't mind at all.
All right.
Anyway.
DraftKings.com.
All right. Well, I guess that means now we're going to talk about some politics or lack thereof. So this week, guys, I'm sorry, I'm laughing already because this is the funniest thing I've actually read about anything to do with the presidential race or any of the congressional races because I thought it was hilarious. But so a memo has been leaked. There was a company by the name of Guccifer 2.0. They're hackers and they have claimed responsibility for it, but it was an internal memo basically telling the Democrat National Committee, or the Democrat National Committee is telling all of their candidates, so not just like Hillary, but like obviously people are running for Congress and around the country, and so they wanted to basically give them some advice on how to deal with Black Lives Matter. And they, in the email or the memo that was leaked, we find out that they basically told everybody that you do not offer any support for any concrete policy positions that Black Lives Matter has come up with. And for those of you that don't know, Black Lives Matter has actually coupled with a few different organizations, and they have a full-on platform written out about different policy things that they would like to see enacted to sort of change what's going on in the world or what's going on in this country. So it's not just about, demilitarizing the police. They have suggestions for how to stop criminalizing Black children. They have suggestions about unionizing farm and domestic workers to give them better opportunities in this country. Like, their platform extends pretty far. And one of the most interesting things, to me at least, on their platform was that they want the country, or they want the government to help fund research for the effects of African enslavement and the Jim Crow era on Black people in this country, and actually get some legitimate data about what has happened to the African American community in this country and how we can sort of tackle it, which I think is awesome because I always say, like, we never actually addressed anything that happened,
Right.
and how are we trying to fix something when we don't really know the scope of the problem? Right. So it's pretty dope. But knowing that, the Democratic National Committee was like, you can't really say, like, you into any of that. Like, you can't say anything about that. So they literally, like, bullet pointed things for candidates to do. So basically the comment from in the memo said that, quote, presidential candidates have struggled to respond to the tactics of the Black Lives Matter movement. So candidates and campaign staff should be prepared. This document should not be emailed or handed to anyone outside of the building. Please only give campaign staff these best practices in meetings or over the phone. So straight out the gate, they was like,
this is how it's going to be.
why is it so top secret? Which is amusing to me, but whatever. So then they went on. They went on to say that if you are approached by Black Lives Matter activists, campaign staff should offer to meet with local activists, invite Black Lives Matter attendees, but they should be limited, and please aim for personal or small group meetings. Listen to their concerns, but don't offer any concrete support for their positions. Make sure you avoid phrases like, quote, all lives matter. The memo also warns not to bring up black on black crime.
Oh boy, when I saw that, I was like, what?
I can't. I'm sorry. And then they said, it went on to say basically, to acknowledge that there's a history of systemic racism and that continues to confront the daily lives of African Americans. Meredith Kelly, who is the press secretary for the committee, came out and said, quote, that we will not allow this hacking to distract from our common goals, nor disparage the Black Lives Matter movement. We continue to welcome further engagement with activists and Black Lives Matter leaders nationwide. So essentially, they was just like, give them lip service, guys. Don't commit to shit.
Pretty much. I mean,
And then she came out here and tried to flip it on the
Keep
hacker.
hope alive.
Keep hope alive, right.
It was just so
well, when I saw that, I just thought that they're just so paranoid and walking on eggshells about everything. They think that anything is going to just blow up and just cause another protest or riot. You know what I mean? And it's
I was
crazy.
offended when they were like in small group meetings. What?
meetings,
Too many Negroes might scare everybody.
Right,
Like I was like,
exactly.
what are you doing?
We don't need any uprising
Right.
Who
here.
wrote this? But I also I don't know.
Just
I
the
mean,
fact that they had to bullet point things
No,
out.
how many white people do you think sat around a table and wrote that?
it was probably a whole team
yeah,
that was like, let's put together and figure out exactly.
Okay,
like,
guys, we can't offend anybody.
So
Okay, hold
we don't
on.
want to offend
Okay.
anybody, but we also don't want to scare our like.
Right.
I don't even whatever.
We saw what the last results happened.
Right, he's
You know
like,
what
all right,
happened.
you know what? I feel like we can trust Tyra. Bring her in. Bring her in.
Right.
Literally, these are the people that are running our country and who we will be voting for in the fall. So I would love to actually get reactions from some of the candidates that received the letter. Like, did everybody really look at this and be like, oh, that's good advice. That's
this-
smart. Like, let's
highlight
do
this.
that. Or
Yeah.
did anybody laugh or think it was fucking ridiculous? Because I think it's
yeah,
fucking
you're right.
ridiculous.
That poll would be great to see
I just
who
would
actually
love-
believe, who believed it or who were like, this is some real BS.
Like some serious, like dark, like you know how when people don't want to like give away their identity and do interviews like
Oh,
on
yeah.
2020, like
Yeah.
I want to put them in a dark room and be like, what did you really
did you
think of
really
the
think?
internal memo? Did you
Right.
really like?
Well, at first I didn't think.
Right, their voices are always like that, and it's like a 25-year-old girl, woman.
Oh man.
boy.
Well, there you go. They're the Democrats. I mean, the memo came out quite a while ago,
Yeah.
so perhaps since then maybe they've adjusted and we'll get another hacker to release more information on where they've sort of transitioned since that time because it came out late last year.
Right.
During the primaries and sort of time. So maybe they have since, changed.
Well, I hope so. And here's the thing: just don't be afraid to talk to us. I mean, at the end of the day, we need to just have the
We can,
conversation.
but they can
We're
talk
normal
to you in
people.
small numbers.
In small numbers, make sure.
You can only bring one cousin.
Well,
Y'all
that's,
can't bring.
that's already a problem.
You can't bring all your cousins. You can
All
only
my
bring one.
cousins going to try to
This
come.
isn't
so
an
it's already a
award
problem. Right. You can't roll in a posse with the blacks.
Whatever. Ooh, good luck
Is
in
it
the
a step?
election,
So do you think
y'all.
it's a step? Is it a step?
I don't know if it's a step of anything. Like, I think it was the most absurd thing I've
weird.
ever
It's
seen.
confusing.
Like, it
I mean, do I
literally.
need to be offended by it, or do I need to look at it in a
Yeah.
positive light? I don't know how to take it.
I think it's laughable, but I also think we should be kind of sad because essentially they're literally saying, like, yes, this is obviously a powerful movement and their ideas are powerful in some way because now we're afraid of them.
Yeah.
But
Let's
not
keep it under-
let's actually engage and try to figure this out. It's literally saying, just be nice
Yeah.
and say something really surface that
And
doesn't
it'll-
mean
it'll
much
pass
and it'll
over.
pass.
It'll
And it'll
pass
pass.
over.
And this too shall pass.
Yes.
So it's depressing, but whatever.
The blacks won't be so angry.
It is our government, All right. Well, speaking of not negative things that the government's doing, California State Assembly is actually doing some good-ish right now. For those of you that may or may not remember, we talked about a young man by the name of
Sounds like
Brock
really felt.
Turner. Brock Turner had been convicted earlier this year of 3 felony counts of sexually assaulting an intoxicated and unconscious woman at a frat party. He dragged that girl out to a dumpster, and basically 2 guys caught him and saved the girl to some extent.
Yeah.
And he was convicted, but he was only sentenced to 6 months, even though the prosecution wanted to give him 6 years. And he only is going to serve 3 months because he just went in jail in June and he'll be out tomorrow. So that caused major uproar, obviously.
As it
and
should.
It was everywhere on social media and all over the place. We talked about it here. And since then, the California Assembly has unanimously passed a measure that requires a prison sentence for anyone convicted of sexually assaulting an unconscious person. Because previously in California law, there was only a mandatory prison sentence when physical force was used in the course of rape. But this new law will mandate a prison term for whenever the victim is unconscious or intoxicated, and the perpetrator does not have to necessarily use force to get this. So they did pass that unanimously, 66-0. It is now going to go to the governor's desk, Governor Jerry Brown, for his signature, and if he signs off, it will now be California law. And asshole will still be out on Friday, but there's not much we can do about that at this point. And the judge in that case, Judge Persky, had requested a temporary transfer to civil court, so he hasn't been seeing any criminal cases since that whole incident, because there was a big petition online to like dethrone him as a judge, which is a whole situation because he's an elected official technically. So
I still get emails. Remember, that's the one I still get.
Yeah. So California Assembly is at least trying to make some changes in our rape culture and rape laws. So there you go.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out, though. Especially with him getting out of jail so quickly. That's what a lot of people are upset about.
It's pretty disgusting, actually. Like I feel like we literally just talked about it, and he's already out of jail on good behavior.
On good behavior.
Literally, we just talked.
We literally. It was mid-June.
Yeah.
We just talked about it, and now he's already done, and that girl lives with that for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Asshole.
Crazy.
Anyway.
Karma.
Anyway.
Karma.
All right. So. Also, people standing up for their rights. This is another story that this week, I feel like it was this week.
This week was like
what is
news
It was kind of weird. I mean, it was like some good stuff at the beginning,
good
then
stuff.
it kind of went a different direction.
It was just like a hangover from the VMAs.
Yeah.
Like nobody knew what to do with the VMAs, that they were just like, fuck it.
And a lot of it, I just felt like there's things that are happening that I'm just like, really? And I probably say that all the time, but it was really. So here we are in South Africa, guys. And apparently, even in South Africa, as a black African person, woman, you have to still fight to wear your hair as it grows out your head. So a couple days ago, there was a protest at a high school, Pretoria Girls High. There was a group of young black girls that basically, they posted a video on Instagram that went viral, and it showed a 13-year-old girl by the name of Zuleika Patel, I hope I said that correct, and her fellow schoolmates in a tense standoff with private security guards at the school. You can hear the students yelling with their hands in the air, "Take us all, they're gonna arrest us." Students said basically they spoke out and started this protest because they were told by their teachers that their hair is exotic and that their afros needed to be tamed. Patel went on to tell the press basically the issue of her hair has been a thing that's followed her entire life. Even in primary, she was told she is not natural, that her hair is not natural, it's exotic, and that her afro was not wanted or anything like that. And then the issue followed her to high school. So in getting to the high school, basically the high school does have a code for their appearance. Like it's, private school, you have to wear a uniform and you have to do your hair a certain way. It doesn't specifically speak to the afro, but the rule that it does lay out says, quote, your hair should be conservative, neat, and in keeping with the school uniform. Basically, everybody, all over South Africa and all over the world, people were on Twitter commenting about it, and it's insane. The girl, you'll see, if you see a picture of her, she's got her hair pulled back in like a afro puff.
Yeah.
A beautiful,
so
thick,
full. It's a
lush, full
thick,
afro that I am so jelly of. And it's so sad. But basically, they're fighting to, the school superintendent or the education minister has said that the code of conduct of the schools must be reviewed and the clause dealing with hairstyles should be suspended in the meantime. So they're looking at the law and trying to determine what the... I just don't like.
Why is the word exotic being used?
It just you're like, God damn, European imperialism fucked everybody up so bad. Like, it's so messed up.
I mean, but the crazy thing is that, we obviously are dealing with this in America. I mean, we've talked about this story with women in corporate America who can't wear braids or, certain African-esque hairstyles in the corporate world. I feel like it's changing a little bit. Like, I'm starting to even notice certain things on TV that are a little different, like correspondence. I was watching a correspondent the other day for a pretty serious news show, and the person it was a man, and he had dreadlocks, and I was like, okay, slight change, and it, especially with this, I feel like U.S. is so behind with making people change their looks. I feel like Europe and those places are a little bit more advanced than us as far as like not being as I don't want to use the word prejudice. I'll use the word as critical of those looks. But this seems backwards.
I mean, they suffered the same way. I mean, apartheid is real, and most of the teachers are still white in the school, and most of the students are black. So the people making the rules are not the people that exist under those rules, and it's just, I don't know. I just get overwhelmed. Like, it's Africa, damn.
Right. Why are you saying? First of all, why saying so? Your hair's exotic. What?
Yeah,
what?
let's stop.
Bitch, what? Do you know where we
your
are?
face is
You're
exotic. Where are you from?
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just.
Wait, do you think that the problem is for them is that the afro reminds them of some type of rebellion?
I gives no shits whatsoever.
It's a little girl.
It's a little girl, and I love this picture actually because she looks like she's serving it right there. She's serving it.
It's just years of indoctrination that somehow being black in its fullest naturalist form is wrong and not okay and dirty and unattractive and all of that bullshit that was served out for hundreds and hundreds of years across the world. It sucks. It's stupid. It's upsetting. And I'm like, really, y'all? It's 2016. Really? And then they went
in. How many times this year we said that?
It's just damn.
I'm tired of saying it. I'm tired of saying it.
My hair grows in an afro, damn it. Like, I'm not yelling at you for your hair growing straight out your head. Like, that's weird.
I be yelling
that's
at
exotic.
it.
Like, what is that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just, whatever. One day. Sorry, I'm not that energetic about anything. I just kind of wish they would all just
Slow baby steps. Baby
disappear.
steps. Hopefully it will change.
One day.
All right. Well, we support you, though. We support you.
We support you, Zuleika, and your friends and all of those people.
Keep it up. Keep up the good fight.
Keep rocking
That's
your
the only
afro,
way we're going to
girl.
change. Keep up the good fight.
I'm trying to get mine like yours.
Right. If mine would grow out that long now, I would bring back that.
Mine would grow that thick, I would be there all the time. Y'all would be like, girl.
Derrial.
You would love to see me in afro.
I sure
big
would.
old fro.
Sure would.
All right, we're going to move on now to our ER Web Stories Spotlight of the Week.
In this outfit, you look like the guy that paints. What's his name?
Why can we never remember his name? We had this like a
Zach, what's that guy's name? He
the guy that paints
smiles
like really slow and he's really
with
sweet.
Bob.
Oh, Bob.
He has
Ross?
Bob
Yes.
Ross. Oh, yeah.
The white boy
He had a
afro.
full fro, right? Did they complain about his fro? That's what I want to know.
Sure did.
All right, you know what, Zach? Can I get that ER
We
Web
ain't gonna
Story
talk
Spotlight
about
of the Week
that.
music again?
Because the Jew fro is acceptable. Khloe Kardashian running
Y'all
around
keep messing with my
bands.
ER Web Story Spotlight of the Week music. That means be quiet. All right. Speaking of somebody who actually has been rocking his fro a little bit lately. A little bit. Colin Kaepernick, who is on the San Francisco 49ers, has been making a lot of public opinions about his display and beliefs about his ethnicity and rebelling against a couple things. But apparently this is what's happened. He has been protesting the U.S. flag by sitting during the national anthem. Mm-hmm. And you know how people get in an uproar if you do mess with anything with the national anthem or not singing or putting your hands over your chest, because we just dealt with this with Gabby during the Olympics. Well, he is biracial, and he said that he'll again refuse to stand during the song as he's done for the past 3 preseason games, because he will not show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. Now, obviously, this is causing uproar. Everyone's asking, like, why is he doing this? And, you coaches, some think it's disrespectful. This is what he had to say about a recent Instagram picture that was also posted of him wearing police on his socks, and it's referencing to, some people were saying to them,
they look like the police.
They look like police, like pigs, yes. So this is what he had to say about that. I wore those socks in the past because the rogue cops that are allowed to hold positions in police departments not only put the community in danger, but they also put the cops that have the right intentions in danger by creating an environment of tension and mistrust. I have 2 uncles and friends who are police officers and work to protect and serve all people. So before those socks, which were worn before I took my public stance, are used to distract the real issues, I wanted to address this immediately.
He jumped right on that.
He jumped right on into it. Now, a lot of people also are kind of speculating, because there's a big game today, I believe, between San Diego Chargers and the 49ers, so they're going to see if he's actually going to, once again, make a stance for, the national anthem or not. But what do you guys think about this? I mean, do you think that, that he should be getting so criticized because he's doing this?
I saw the best Instagram post.
Uh-oh.
It said, white people want black people to not protest loud. So then he does this, and then you get upset.
Right.
So it was just kind of like, why are we making such a big deal out of this? It's like there's so many negative things in the world, and it blows my mind that the littlest thing can be an excuse for anyone to flip this whole situation, this whole story, instead of just owning up to, okay, there's a conversation that needs to be had, and there are steps that we need to take.
Yeah.
Instead of just looking at it and trying to flip it and make someone the bad guy, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it's a catch-22 with this issue for me, because it's like the American flag. We're in America. The American flag, the anthem. When we decide to protest against that, I can see how some people might get upset with it in the sense of, you are in America. If you think it's so bad here, or you're having such issues with certain things, then go somewhere else.
Okay, but it's
a lot of people do that argument, and that was a lot of the Twitter people that were coming back at him, like, oh, you were fine taking this, and like,
right, and you're doing this, but you protest.
The reason that pisses me off is because just because there's great and amazing things about this country doesn't mean there aren't also dark, horrible things that we should be working on and trying to change. And it's disgusting that people use that. To me, that is a disgusting argument to have. I agree. And I think that it for nothing else, like when he was doing it, I didn't know anything about him. Like, I don't know, like, does he actually do other things in his life to like support the community and do whatever? Because to me, that's the bigger picture. Like, I appreciate you putting it on blast like this only because it brings so much attention, and people are like, well, what's the big deal? Blah, blah. I was actually fully aware of what the national anthem actually is because I've studied it and whatever. But those of y'all that don't know who wrote the national anthem, why it was written, what the full song actually is, and know when it became adopted as the national anthem, which wasn't until over 100 years after it was written, and why that might have actually been the case, maybe y'all would actually rethink that it is the national anthem to begin with. So I feel like if nothing came out of it, other than the reevaluation of, we accept a lot of symbols and a lot of things in this country as things that are, okay, it shows patriotism. We love America. Yeah, we love America, but America was built on the backs of some people that never got stood up for at any point in time. And there's some really horrible shit in the fucking national anthem that maybe it is not representative of who we are or who we want to be. So what we should be addressing is, why do we still sing and pledge to that as if it is okay? Because that really came from a very dark and ugly past that we claim is no longer the case. But people are still living under that oppression to a certain degree. So I think that what he's doing, to me, I mean,
if that's the way
people are talking about it, like if that's how you make a stand, and you're on a huge platform, and
then do it.
Yeah. I'm all for it. And he stood up to it very well. Like, the criticism and his comebacks have been very intelligent.
Was it you that was telling me in high school, not high school, in like middle school? Remember they used to make you at the beginning of school. At first they used to have do prayer, and then they would and then they got rid of prayer.
Yeah, they got rid of prayer.
Was it you that was telling me you never said
I would not say the pledge, and I wouldn't stand for the national anthem.
Really?
I did it all through elementary school.
There was this thing, because my family was so religious, that it would almost be like, that ain't God. That ain't like in my mind of like.
That's part of why I didn't believe the pledge.
To this flag, this anthem, like it reminded me of like Our Father who art not in it. Like, it was just kind of like, I don't know. I think I go, my conspiracy theory. I
feel that. I think I was just so young at the time. Like, it's just routine. It's like I was told to do it by the teachers, so I did it. You know what I mean? And I went to Catholic school too, so all that was just embedded in me anyway. But now looking back at it, that's why I say it's kind of a catch-22. We can't complain about people not making stances when they do make a stance with something like this, like he is, and then they're doing it against a platform like this where people are really getting pissed off because it's the national anthem.
Oh my God! Change that. Change it.
You know what I mean?
Change the damn anthem. John Legend said.
Listen to it for real, because I think we're gonna talk about it. Yeah, and I think we're gonna talk about Georgetown, which is a similar issue. We live in a country where there are literally idols all around this country devoted to people who murdered and abused people as a way of life.
Sounds like reality TV.
And you also continue to expect the descendants of those people to support those idols,
Yeah.
and with no question. And now suddenly we're really questioning it in a way that has never been the case before. And people are just like, well, what are you talking about? What are you talking
What are
about?
you
Have you
right,
actually
exactly.
paid attention to what the hell this shit means? Because it means something. And to just be quiet and go along with it because that's sort of what we do and what we decided.
But people aren't doing that anymore, and they shouldn't. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, make a stance. You know, I mean, the problem is that I think why a lot of things are erupting so much now is because we have been silent with it, or even when we weren't silent, people were ignoring it. You know,
Yeah.
and now people just aren't standing for it anymore.
Yeah.
And they're using whatever way they can to express how they really feel, and some people can't handle that.
Yeah.
20 years from now, it's gonna be so crazy once these.
I hope we're not talking about the same thing 20 years from now, though,
No,
because
but we
20
won't,
years
because
ago,
think about
we were
the
talking about the same
generations that are
things.
going to be gone that are really holding these.
I hope so. I hope that's
ideals.
true.
I mean,
I
yeah,
hope
no, I
that's
can
true.
imagine what the problems are going to be in 20 years from now. But I'm just
Right.
saying.
They'll be real different. They'll be like,
Well,
do you realize you're 5 and your boobs are...
well, that's a different subject. But someone who is trying to make a change, as you kind of mentioned, Courtney, is Georgetown, because we recently found out in the news from them that they're making amends for their slavery history. The president of Georgetown received a 104-page report from a working group talking about how basically the school was built on slaves. So it says it involves in 1838 the sale of 272 slaves. The school has apologized and started to make changes, and some of those changes that is done, I'll read a couple of them, is the school will rename its Freedom Hall for Isaac, the slave whose name led the list of those to be sold, and a Remembrance Hall for Anne Marie Baycroft, a black educator. The buildings previously had been named for presidents who oversaw the 1838 sale, so that's a huge change. The 18,000 student university will also create a memorial for slaves whose work benefited the school, including those sold to plantations in Louisiana to pay off Georgetown's debts. And descendants of the slaves will be included in a group of advisors on the memorial. So, they're trying to make a bunch of changes here with the school, and I applaud them because we talked about, was it Yale?
Yeah, where the guy was
recently.
like working.
The black man working below slaves, and then broke the window.
He was like, I don't need to see this shit every day of my life.
You know,
like, that's not okay.
And then it took that for the school to even somewhat sort of
Think,
make
like,
a change.
ooh, maybe we
this is
shouldn't
offensive to
have,
some folks.
you know?
But I applaud Georgetown because they are making the efforts,
Yeah.
and they're not just making minor changes. They're involving the students
Yeah.
and the descendants of those slaves to really get involved with this. So I can't be mad at that.
Yeah.
I mean, history is
Appreciate
history.
that.
It's about changing the bad stuff in history
Yes.
to move forward.
You know,
positive way.
or at
In a
least not
positive way.
celebrating the bad shit.
I feel like I
in
just
your
did an
face every
ABC
day.
after school special promo. All right, moving on to the last story of the day. Miss Kerry Washington, she is staying busy. My
Yes,
girl
she
is doing her thing.
is.
Not only is she obviously still starring in Scandal and it's doing big ratings, she is now developing a female LAPD-based drama called Patrol. It's coming out of Simpson Street, which is her production company, and they also produced HBO's Confirmation, in which she played Anita Hill. So she's doing big things. What do they say about this? They said that the actress has been expanding her behind the scene camera work. She's really trying to get into this project and really push it. They haven't given a lot of details on what it all is about, but I'm hoping it's some kind of like sexy Charlie's Angel kind of drama kind of thing going on.
I'm hoping it's a real cop drama.
Yeah,
with
not
chicks.
Charlie's Angels.
No,
where
it
there's
wants
the
like a
man
cheesy,
running-
sex-driven.
No,
like,
but remember they redid that Charlie's Angel remake a couple years ago or like 5 years ago on ABC, and they had a little bit more serious tone.
But it was terrible.
Yeah, that's true.
Did they even
Sorry, I
make a
take that back.
season
TV show? They didn't make season 2, no.
No, they make season 2. Okay, so I'll take that back. Maybe
But
we don't
like
want Charlie's
honestly,
Angel.
like I really like Shades of Blue.
Yeah, Shades of
Shades
Blue.
of Blue is
That's
dope.
exactly what I thought
Is that
about
coming
when
back?
I read
That's
that.
coming back,
Yeah,
right?
it's coming back.
I do like that. It has a dark twist, so that's why. Yeah.
If they were to put all women in that position, like almost like a Sons of Anarchy, just females, like I'm here for it.
I'm here for it. I want to see what they're doing and like what they're gonna. And it's LAPD. Like,
Yeah, that would be a real cute.
I wonder if
diverse
she'll
cast.
guest star on it.
I would hope so.
Yeah,
probably,
she probably
possibly.
would be.
Oh well, who knows? She might actually want to just be producer
Yeah.
behind camera.
Yeah.
Maybe
right.
she comes over as
She
Olivia
about
Pope.
to have baby too. You know.
She is about to have a baby too, and there were all those rumors too that were coming out that she and her husband were separating.
There's always rumors.
But I guess that's not true because they
whatever.
seem to be
They
making
having baby
babies.
too.
They having
Scandal will be
babies.
back in 2017, I think. I don't think it's coming out back in the fall because
Really?
she had the baby or something like schedule wise. I think it wasn't coming back
Yeah.
right in September like we're used to.
Yeah. Well, we applaud you, Carrie. Keep doing it.
Can't
Come
wait
on,
to
Black
see it,
Hollywood
girl.
Live. Talk to us about
Hire
it.
us. We'd love to.
We'll do your recap
Courtney
show.
gonna yeah, we'll do
Shoot
that.
somebody.
We'll do
Oh my
a
God,
recap
give me
show.
a gun. It's gonna be amazing.
We'll recap it while Courtney's in it.
Courtney's in it. We'll recap it for you on the network.
It's in Los Angeles, so I could play like
Yeah.
a cholo off the block.
You could.
You could.
You could.
Courtney
Actually,
can
you
pass,
could.
for real.
There's several things you could pass
Let's
for.
shoot that and pitch that to
Let's
them.
do it.
Let's do
Give
it. Even
to
though we
them.
just put up
Like,
the
we got
world,
your
so
first
the pitch may be
episode.
taken now because everybody heard us say the pitch. I'm just saying. All right, that's our subjects for today and all of our topics. But there is one thing I do want to just acknowledge because I'm still in awe about it. We had a special guest on our recap show for
Yes, we did.
Greenleaf yesterday on Black Hollywood Live. So check it out. Miss Oprah Winfrey the Big O called
Yes.
in to Black Hollywood Live, talked to our host for 20 minutes. I'm still just. I don't even know how to
Wallowing in the
different
just wallowing in it.
vibrations.
You know, just the fact that she took time from her busy schedule to talk to us, and we're one of the few networks that she has really appeared on as far as on online and on our platform. And first of all, thank you, Miss Winfrey,
Thank you,
and Own for
Miss
making that
Winfrey.
happen. But you guys should check out that interview. It's Black Hollywood Live's Greenleaf recap.
Check it out.
Oprah makes a great appearance on there and talks about her character and just the season finale for Greenleaf. So please check that out.
Make sure y'all check it.
And that's it. That's all I got for today.
That's it. It's time for the weekend.
It's Labor Day weekend, so be safe.
And Jesse's birthday, y'all.
If you're not in California, enjoy the last part of summer because I can't really say that in LA because we still got some, some weather.
But the
rest of the
energy
year.
still changes after Labor
Yep.
Day. Like, it's not summer energy anymore. Even though it's
Still be
hot.
wearing my white pants.
That's true. I'm still gonna be working.
It'd still be hot.
They said that's not true, by the way, anymore.
Yeah, that
that's a
fashion
myth.
doesn't exist
Yeah, that
anymore.
doesn't. That yes.
That's an old.
You can wear white
fashion
pants throughout
faux
the
pas.
year.
Yes.
Because I'm like, why can't you wear it in the winter? It's
You
wet out.
can. It's winter white.
You know what I'm saying? All right. Where can people find you, Courtney, in your winter white?
In my winter white or my summer white that I'm still wearing right now, I will be everywhere at Stewart Starlet online.
Jesse?
Boom. Everywhere at DJ Jesse J.
You can catch me at Derrial, Christon on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Have a wonderful Labor Day weekend, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Bye.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Derrial, Christon, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.